Now you can hear me. Okay, tonight we're going to talk about 3 great trails you never heard of. And we'll be doing a few of these as we go through the next bunch of Thursdays. So as you know, Jacksonville is a big city, largest city by area in the contiguous United States. I believe Anchorage, Alaska is bigger, 875 square miles, and it's got a lot of parks, over 400 city parks, 7 state parks, 3 national parks. So don't feel bad if you haven't been to some of them or have never heard of some of them. And we'll try to take a look at some of these and take a look at some nice hiking trails. Tonight we're looking at Bulls Bay Preserve over on the west side and 2 parks in the Mandarin area, Tomahawk Park and Losco Park. We'll take a look at where they are. We'll talk a little bit about the history, and then we'll take a hike on some of them. So the first one is Bulls Bay Preserve. That's on the west side. This is 295 going north. Normally I get off on Commonwealth, go down to Pickettville Road, turn right on Old Plank Road, and it's down about a half a mile, Bulls Bay Preserve. It's got quite a history. The map you're looking at now is from 1870s, 1890s, something like that. But we don't know much about the area prior to 1820. It's a kind of a swampy area. I don't think there was much development. I haven't read about any type of indigenous personnel that populated the area. But in 1820s, after Florida went back to the United States, Isaiah Hart, founder of Jacksonville, started a plantation there, which he called Paradise Plantation, but I guarantee it was no paradise. Hart died in 1861. The Civil War ended in 1865. His son, Ocean Hart, was sort of a unionist and an anti-slavery person, and he took over the land at that point. Now, one thing we want to do in the spirit of unforgetting is talk just a second about Isaiah Hart. He founded Jacksonville, but as you can see there with the asterisks, he started out as a marauder, kidnapped and sold enslaved and free African Americans when he came down here in the 1820s. He was big in the slave trade, and the profits he got from that he put into real estate and became a large landholder in this area and eventually laid out the initial plat for Jacksonville. So there's some good and there's some bad with Isaiah Hart. This area passed through several different owners, finally taken over by the Water Management District in the 1970s because of a creek that flows through here and eventually into the St. Johns. In 1999, it was purchased by the city under the preservation project under Mayor Delaney. And the land just sat there until 2019 when we needed to unfreeze Lot J for development. And so in order to free up Lot J for development, they had to designate another land in as preservation land in perpetuity. And so they designated Bulls Bay Preserve. And then after they did that, they had to quickly develop some trails and stuff like that. So that was all done real quickly as a part of the Lot J, freeing up Lot J for development. But it's nice because they did a nice job. We're looking at the parking area here. That's one trailhead down there. Picnic tables. Over to the left, a couple other trailheads. A glorified porta potty, pretty nice. And you can see parking area, parking for maybe 10 or 15 cars in this area. Now the trail area is just a small part of the preserve. If you look at this small picture here, you can say this is all of Bulls Bay Preserve. The trail area we're talking about is just right down here. There's another little loop trail up here to the north. I haven't been to there. And the Baldwin Bike Trail cuts across the middle of it right here. So most of this is just preserved land, won't be developed. total length of all trails that you see here is not very much, but they're varied enough and interesting enough that it kind of feels like more. The land's kind of beat up, and I'm not sure why. Maybe there was previous development, but I found truck and pole kind of helped a couple times in getting up and down some of the ups and downs with the trail. So let's take a look. We'll take a look at all the trails. First of all, the blue trail is the waterfall trail. We'll take a look at it first. This orange trail is the Big Oak Trail. You see it's a loop out of the parking lot. Then further down Old Plank Trail is the Lily Pond Trail. That's real pretty. And then the last trail down here, the red trail, is the Bridge Loop. So we'll start with the waterfall trail that we can either come on this trailhead right at one end of the parking lot, or over by the porta potty, we can come in that way. So we'll start over here. You can see it's pretty well marked, most places. There's a little cutoff here that cuts across the trails, and that's what we just passed. Then there's another little cutoff here that cuts over to the Big Oak Trail, and we just passed that one too. But we'll just keep on going. Hold on just a second. Let's see if I've left anybody in the waiting room. Yeah, there's two people in the waiting room. Let's get them in. Sorry for you folks in the waiting room, but you're in now, so that's good. Listen to the waterfall. Now that's not Niagara Falls, but it's not bad for Florida, huh? And it's a natural waterfall. I think it's fed by a spring. We're right here right now on the Blue Trail. We can also walk around a little trail around this way and go to the top of this fall and see a few rapids on the other, up a little bit up the creek from there. We'll take a look at that. See, those are the little falls up at the top. So we're looking down at the waterfall now. It's a pretty spot. And you know, it's only a quarter mile, something like that, to walk up here to the parking lot. Those are the other rapids up further up the creek. Now we'll come back out and just head back to the parking lot. Now we'll take a look at what's called the Big Oak Trail. That's an orange trail that loops around. There's quite a difference in altitude up here. There's a creek that runs down, maybe a 15-foot cliff here, which is very unusual for Florida. So let's take a look at the Live Oak Trail. So rather than turning here, we're just heading up this way. You see, there's a couple places where you can cross if you want to do less of a loop. Pretty area, huh? Now we're coming back. Now we come back and loop into the purple or Old Plank Trail. So we're right here, and you can hike down the Old Plank Trail a little further, and you come to this green trail, which is the Lily Pond Loop. It's got a little cut across here as well, and a nice lily pond that we'll take a look at up here, and a place to sit down. And then we come to kind of this confusing intersection that's not marked very well, but if you just stay left all the way, then you can do this loop. And if you stay fully left when you come back, you'll make it back to the Old Plank Trail, okay. So let's take a look at the Lily Pond Loop. Beautiful hardwood forest here, pretty oak trees. You can see some of the ups and downs. I don't know if this was done by construction or what. coming into the Lily Pond Trail, the Lily Pond on our left there. And it's a pretty pond with a nice place to sit. Now we're coming back, finishing the loop, and coming back to the old plank trail or the purple trail. Now we'll take the old plank trail to the end and do the bridge loop. Short little walk through the woods. And we did that quickly, and now we're back to the parking lot. There's a nice trail map there at the parking lot. So we just came back this way, back along the old plank trail, which parallels Old Plank Road. If you ever think you get kind of lost in here, just listen for the Old Plank Road traffic and head toward it, and you'll be all right. What I like about this place, as you can see, whoops, as you saw rather quickly, there's beautiful trails. The waterfall is the biggest you'll see around here, so that's kind of nice. I like the lily pond, sit there on the bench at the lily pond's pretty. A lot of varied terrain, it's spread out, not crowded. And if you just want to do a short loop, you don't want to hike very far, you get kids with you or something, why, you've got a lot of options here. So it's a nice trail for doing that. So that's Bulls Bay Preserve. Now let's head back over to the Mandarin area and let's look at Tomahawk Park. Tomahawk Park is located, here's San Jose Boulevard, and this is the Jewish Community Alliance. So we're just north of the Pottsburg Creek, and there's a light here at San Cleric. You can just go down San Cleric through this stop sign and a little road called San Andrew Road. And what we do is we just go down to a dead end, and that's the camp. So this has playground, sports field, gazebo with tables, restrooms. There's a kayak launch into, I said Pottsburg Creek a minute ago. There's a kayak launch into Goodby's Creek and a couple miles of trails. Nice place. I always take my grandkids here. Nice place to take grandkids. So this park is near what was the Beauclerc Bluff Plantation way back when. And this land just sat pretty much undeveloped. Alejandro Garces and his wife came here in the 50s and started a private day camp. And this was a big popular private summer camp for kids. They could swim in the Goodby's Creek. They had arts and crafts, archery, all sorts of stuff in this area. He sold it to the city in 1981 for a park, stipulating that it be named after his father. And the local residents, they are here on San Andrew Drive and the surrounding area, wanted this to be a minimal impact passive park. And so that's what the city did. So this is driving down that short San Andrew Road. You can see at the very end is the park right there at the dead end. You can see the signs here. This is the park. You can see the playground. So some school kids out there the day I was out there. Obviously, dogs on leashes are welcome. There's a gazebo with some barbecue pits. You can rent that. Further down that building is the restroom, and then way down at the end there is a park person that lives on the property. So this is the kayak launch. You see here that you can launch into Goodby's Creek. This bridge goes across Goodby's Creek, and then this is the main trailhead right here with a trailhead map. So we were right here at this trailhead. Hold on, let me see if there's anybody else that needs to come in. I'm sorry, okay. So there's kind of two main trails. This trail is a meadow loop, and the arrows here are really for cyclists or runners, but you can go either way around that, or you can go up on this trail, which is called the Tomahawk Loop, and they have this shortcut through here that is the Goodby Loop. So we're right here, and we're going to head down here and do this meadow loop, come back here, and then we're going to go up and go around this loop. There's also a perimeter here if you want to add a little mileage when you're running, or if you're biking or something like that, you can add a little mileage that way. So that was the trailhead. We're going to head down to the right. See, the trails are marked with posts and sometimes on the trees. There's Goodby's Creek right there, all right. Little long boardwalk. And this boardwalk kind of leads to the end here, where we're back out at where Sand Clark Road is. And that's where we loop around and head back to the start. So we're coming back around. And then here we'll cut back down to the trailhead where we started. Oh, I'm sorry. Come back down to the trailhead where we started. So we're coming back down here, and then we're going to turn right and go along the creek that way for the other part of the hike. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to head down to the right and go down that way. There's a bridge across Goodby's Creek here. We're just going to walk out there and take a look. It's a pretty view at the creek on each side. And then looking back this way, we're looking back toward the playground area. But now we're going to head up this way. When we get up to here, we're just going to make a left, come around. So we're up at this intersection. Rather than go that way, we're just going to head left and head on down. Beautiful trails, nice and flat, nice and wide. Can get a little wet sometimes with a lot of rain, but other than that, nice trails to hike. Now we're right here at this boardwalk, and then we're up here at another bridge that goes across Goodby's Creek, where we turn left. Kind of walk near a housing development. Now we're left and heading back toward the playground. So we come out right about here. There's the gazebo and there's the parking lot. Well, I like this. There's a nice local flavor to this. The residents in that area really love this park. They keep a good eye on it. They're always getting with the city if they find things wrong. There's a lot of damage here in the last hurricane that had to be cleaned up. But there's a lot of love for this. There's a running group that kind of helps take care of the trails. And so it's got a good local flavor. It's got a great playground for kids. You've got that nice picnic area where you can have parties and stuff, nice restrooms. And like I say, beautiful, easy trails, great for kids. So we looked at Tomahawk Park. Now we want to go down a little bit to the southeast and take a look at Losco Park. So Losco Park is near Old St. Augustine Road. Here's 295 and Old St. Augustine Road intersection. Losco Road is right here. There's a Winn-Dixie here and a Publix Hobby Lobby shopping center here. But if you just head down Losco Road to the end, turn left up Hood Road, you'll see the Losco Regional Park there on your right. They've got a nice playground. They got a splash park when it works. I haven't seen it working recently. Restrooms, covered picnic tables. There's some soccer fields down this area where a soccer league does all their stuff. And darn, and about 3 miles of trails, which is nice. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay, let some more people in from the waiting room. Those of you in the waiting room got here late, but don't worry, we're videoing this, and so you'll be able to see the whole thing when we post the video. This was a farming area in Mandarin before it was ever developed. In the 1880s, Frank Losco, an Italian, started a farm here and a vineyard and a winery. And his wine was pretty famous and pretty well received. The land remained in the family until it was sold to the city in 1998. I think it was part of the preservation project. His old log cabin where he made his wine was on the property, and then it was moved over to where the Mandarin Museum is. So they carefully took the building apart, marked each piece, went back and reassembled it. This is a picture of his son who was killed in World War I. So the park opened in 2002, but a lot of the development, soccer fields, splash park, and things like that have been built since then. So this is Hood Road, and you come in right here. You see the entrance here for Losco Park. Right in this treed area is the playground. When you drive around past the retention pond, right here, this parking lot where it says finish, that's the trailhead. This little yellow portion here is added on this map in order to make a 5K run out of this. So it's about 3 miles of trails, but they need another 0.2 miles. So that's why you see that start and finish. But the real trailhead is right here at the finish thing. You'll be able to see that in a minute. You can see how the trails are jiggled about to add mileage. So rather than just a white trail that goes straight to the blue trail, you do a little ins and outs, ups and downs in order to add some mileage, which is nice. So this is the trailhead. You can see we've come in around here from the parking lot, parked. Then we just walk down to the trailhead. I've kind of talked about the trails, but let's take a look again. The red trail about 3/4 of a mile. It's a loop, so when you come in, you got a choice about which way you go. We're going to do them all, so we'll do the red trail to here, then the white, then the blue, then we'll come back up. You connect with the white trail. That loop is about 1.5 miles, so that's a little longer. You can see how it curves around, jiggles in and out in order to get some mileage. You've seen. Sorry. And then the blue trail is about 3/4 of a mile down at the south end. You've seen the map, so let's get started. First we'll go down and look at the red trail. As you saw from the map, all these trails are loop trails. So we'll just head to the left to start along the red trail. Red trail's marked pretty well. It's pretty hard to get lost in here. You got blazes or signs, so it's not too hard to follow. And we're heading this way, going counterclockwise, or clockwise, I mean. So now we're down to this intersection with a white trail. You see the red trail goes off to the right. And we'll just head off to the left and go down and take a look at the white trail too. So we headed down here to the white trail, and now we're going to get down to where the blue trail intersects. Kind of hard to see the blue hash mark there, but it's pretty easy when you're hiking. So now we're down to this point. We'll take a look at the blue trail. Nice bridge goes across the creek there. So we've gone down, hiked through the blue trail. Now we'll head back up, do the rest of the white trail, and do the rest of the red trail. So we're going down the Blue Trail now, coming back up. There's the intersection. Back across the bridge. Taking the White Trail up to the other point where the Red Trail is. Back on the Red Trail to the trailhead. So this is a nice park because you get about a 3-mile hike here, and again you've got the option to cut it short or do whatever you want. So I like it. It's a compact 3 miles. It's pristine in there. You do have a little traffic from I-295, but traffic noise. But other than that, you're pretty much alone. It's not a whole lot of people that go there. Trails are beautiful, nice and wide. Lots to see. Options to do a little or all of it. If I take my grandkids, we usually just do the Red Trail and then go back to the playground. And when that splash park's working, that splash park seems like it's a lot of fun for kids. So we've looked at Bulls Bay Preserve over on the west side with the famous Jacksonville waterfall. We've looked at Tomahawk Park and Losco Park with some beautiful short trails. Losco Park with some nice 3-mile trails. And so those are three great parks that I bet you never heard of, and now you have. Now you can get out there and hike.